Hi, I'm Renika, and I know there's a lot of people that are studying for their medical coding certifications, and I just wanted to take a moment to share some of my tactics in passing my exams on the first and the second try. So I passed my CPC exam on the second try, and I've passed my CPMA and AAPC certificate instructor certification on both on the first try. The first thing I did was just focus on 5 questions at a time. And once I felt comfortable with doing 5 questions, then I went up to 10 and 15. And so on and so on. I did not start off with a full mock exam. As I was doing each of those questions, I would try to answer in 2 minutes. So whether I'm doing 5 questions in 10 minutes or I'm doing one question in 2 minutes, I would always just focus on 2 minutes per question. The next thing I did was I reviewed everything. I reviewed the rationale. I reviewed the questions that I got right. I reviewed the questions that I got wrong. I looked at every single thing and made note on how I could do it better and quicker the next time. The next thing I did was look at the answers first. So as I'm doing my practice questions, I would immediately go to the answers, see if I can make an elimination based on a guideline, based on the fact that the code is just not a valid code at all. And then I could go back and look at the question because now I'm focused on the different elements that I need to focus on in order to choose the correct code. Next thing for me was a very simple book prep. And what that is I didn't over highlight, I didn't over tab. I only did highlights in certain colors and only on certain words. I used a red pen for do not report, and I underlined and I put an asterisk. I only tabbed out specific areas like the E&M chart, specific appendices. I also made my notes in sections. So for medical terminology, it would be all in one area, and then I would tab that. For all of my compliance stuff, I would put that in one area and I would tab that out. So I know there are, all these tabs that comes with your book, but for me, it's a bit overwhelming. It's very distracting when I'm looking at trying to get to a code quickly when there's like too many highlights and too many notes. If I do need to make a note for a specific code, I would write it there on the side. But I wouldn't have my book is not filled up with a bunch of notes because for me, it's just a little overwhelming. So the last thing that I did, which I feel it is the most important thing, is how to get to codes quickly. So, the books are thick. There's a lot of codes and you have to get there within 2 minutes, read the question, get there in 2 minutes. I mean, there's a lot going on. So for me, looking at the top right-hand corner, to identify if the code that I'm looking for is on that page, it's going to be in that group. It's going to be in that range of codes on the top right-hand corner. So scanning the top right-hand corner, getting on that page quickly, and again, not having too many notes and too many things, because then you're trying to scan the page to get to that specific code quickly. You're trying to get to read the instructional notes quickly. So if you can perfect number one, process of elimination, getting to your code quickly, you'll be good. I would say also making sure that beforehand you read your guidelines, because you're not really going to have a lot of time to read guidelines during the exam. So read the guidelines, understand the guidelines, and if anything, you're just going back to say, oh yeah, I know there's a guideline for this. Let me just hop into this section real quick to read the guideline, so I can process eliminate. And so those are all my basic strategies that I did. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if you use any of my tactics.